Welcome here into Teal, the show. Another week down and another week closer to the regular season, the kickoff of everything. I got Kyle Ashley hanging out with me tonight. This is a fun show, but maybe not as fun. Look, you always have to take these cuts seriously. The Jaguars get to carry 90 players all the way through training camp, and some guys' dreams end. They've played maybe their last professional football as teams start to cut their rosters down to just 53. So some tough decisions for teams around the NFL, and dreams coming to some ends for some guys. So a little bit of both. We're closer to the regular season, but also a little disappointment.
Yeah, definitely kind of exciting, little somber, but we do have a lot to talk about, so.
Yeah, a lot of ground to cover, so let's jump straight into it. So we'll try and jump through the entire roster. One big thing that we want to go ahead and deal with on the front end, Jaguars busy. James Gladstone making moves, including a trade. Moving on from Fred Johnson, so he's not going to be on this roster. James Gladstone clearly likes some picks and acquires another 7th-round pick, sends Fred Johnson back to Philadelphia. Look, honestly, this is a pro move by the general manager here. You sign a guy to a 1-year contract in the offseason, decide, probably not going to make my 53, but you know what, I'll send him back to the team where he came from because they could use him and get a 7th-round pick for basically doing nothing.
So, yeah, I mean, this definitely also affects the 53-man roster you had, so we'll talk about that when we get there. But also a little slight good news for Anton Harrison, I would think.
You know, maybe we'll see about that. The rookie's breathing down his neck. But let's roll through the 53. We got a long way to go. So let's start off with quarterback. These are no-brainers, right? Trevor Lawrence, Nick Mullins, Seth Hennigan has had some time in the preseason to shine, but I think maybe John Wolford is the guy that ends up on the practice squad. We'll see if Hennigan can stick around. But 2 quarterbacks on the roster, no questions here. I think Nick Mullins is the no-brainer at backup quarterback.
I have a quick question. Nick Mullins better than Mac Jones in your eyes?
In this offense?
In this offense?
Look,
okay.
I think Nick Mullins, they brought him here from Minnesota because he knows Grant Udinski, he knows the offense that they want to run, and I think they want a guy that can support Trevor.
So that's beneficial.
Mac would be learning the offense, right? And let's just be serious. I know people are freaking out about the backup quarterback. If Trevor gets hurt, this team is down the toilet either way. We saw that last year. It'll be the same thing again. It doesn't matter who the backup quarterback is. You can go get whoever you want. If he gets hurt, it's all downhill from there. So, far from concerned.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Let's keep Trevor
clean. You got some wood, knock on it. If you got a lucky rabbit's foot, rub it. We'll see if Trevor can stay healthy. All right, let's move on to running backs. This one, a tight room and a lot of question marks here. I've got all 4 of the main guys making it, so my only cut is Jaquindon Jackson, the undrafted free agent rookie, who I actually think has a pretty good shot to stick on the practice squad. But LaQuint Allen, Bashal Tootin, the 2 rookies, and Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby, barring a trade, I think all 4 are on the roster.
I like this room. I like all 4 of them. So let's say by the end of the year, who do you think has the most carries out of these 4?
Most carries, Tank Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby? Okay.
No-brainer.
What if we're just saying touches, all around touches?
Travis Etienne.
Okay,
No
so
brainer.
you think those 2 are the top 2?
Yeah, I think I'm still in the camp where I think Tank Bigsby has the most catches, Travis Etienne ends with the most touches. I think Bashal Tootin, like outside of injury, does not play a ton. But I'm telling you, LaQuint Allen's going to see the field. Liam Cohen said that it's tough to have 4 guys active on game day. And I think your 3 active on game day are 1, 2, 3. And then this guy might be down and get a little bit of a redshirt year. And then they get him in the mix a little bit more next year. Which,
I mean, could be a little surprising for fans because I feel like they have seen Tootin maybe run the ball the most in this preseason.
You get him some work. I think Bashal Tootin's good. And I think he'll have an opportunity, but I think they're going to ride with the guys they have right now. And then LaQuint Allen has a little bit more of a role in, like, passing downs. So, different.
What about kick return? Tootin going there at all, or you think not even
Right
close?
now, that's Tank Bigsby's job. Tank and Parker are back there. I think Tootin has gotten some work back there at kick return, but I don't see him taking over, and I don't see them having him active just to be the kickoff returner when you could have Tank or somebody else back there doing it. But we'll see. Look, I mean, stranger things have happened. Look, this is a position where injuries are very real and do happen and will happen. So we'll probably see Bashal Tootin at some point this season. I just don't think it's going to be much outside as long as guys are healthy. Outside of injury, I don't think we're going to see Bashal Tootin. Or let's not count out a James Gladstone trade to move on from one of these guys. I think the easiest guy to replace, I know everybody keeps pointing to Travis Etienne. I think you could replace Tank Bigsby a lot easier with Bashal Tootin than you can replace what Travis Etienne gives you.
There's been some chatter about, hey, don't get me wrong. I like this running back room, and the more depth you have at running back, the better your team could be, so I'm with you.
Yep, so I think this is going to be the room going into the year. Let's go to wide receiver. This one's going to be a little bit in flux, right? So here are the no-brainer guys. De'Ami Brown, Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., no questions there. Parker Washington's locked his way into this roster. That was never really in flux. I don't have another guy on the roster because I think ultimately they're going to be on the streets looking for a guy. Sean Payton from the Denver Broncos head coach dropped that. James Gladstone was calling him up asking about one of their wide receivers. I think the Jaguars are shopping for a wide receiver that's going to be number 5 in this room, and probably number 6 is going to come from the streets. So I think 5 and 6 probably haven't put on a Jaguars jersey yet. So I've only got 4 on my roster right now, which means my 53 is going to come up just a little bit short. Mostly because I think they're going to go to the streets or the trade market to get wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6.
Any name in particular you have your eye on potentially?
I don't have one yet. We'll see what happens as the cut downs start to roll in. And then let James Gladstone go do the rest of that work and try and go and see if he can uncover a gem for us. But I think it'll be a bigger guy. Like if you look at the Jaguars wide receiver room, BT's a big guy, but Parker's a smaller receiver. Travis Hunter's not maybe the most physical receiver. They say De'Ami Brown's kind of their big body, kind of physical receiver. I think they're going to go look for a big 6'5", top shelf kind of guy if they can find one.
That'd be nice. Add some variety. All right, let's go to tight end.
All right, moving on to tight end. This room, easy. Easy. This one was absolutely no-brainer. Brenton Strange, Johnny Munt, Hunter Long. Strange is your guy, and then you bring in 2 free agents off the street who are going to back him up. I mean, if you want to say who's tight end 2, that's a little bit more of a discussion point than who's on the roster. These 3 no-brainers. The rest of them, somebody will slide onto the practice squad. We'll see who that ultimately is. Maybe Quentin Morris. Maybe it's Patrick Herbert. But the ones on the roster, 3 tight ends, no-brainer.
Now, we see Strange has looked good, but also Hunter Long, he's made some plays out there. So if they were battling for it, I bet Hunter Long might just have a slight edge.
Slight edge? I was critical of Hunter Long when they signed him because he hasn't played a whole lot in his NFL career. Impressive. I'll give him that. Look, he was good at Boston College. So, I mean, it really hadn't, maybe it was an opportunity thing. In the spots we've seen him, Hunter Long's made some good catches. So, look, I like the Hunter Long move. So I think these are your 3. Well, again, another guy you hope just doesn't get banged up, but Brenton Strange is built like a Mack truck, so I don't think we're going to have too many problems there. I think he's going to be healthy, and I think he's going to be in for a big year. My fantasy football people, if you're looking for a sleeper tight end, there's your guy. All right, let's go to the O-line.
O-line.
We don't talk about the offensive line too much, but how about that? Let's roll out some offensive line guys. Here's the starting group in my mind. I think your tackles are Walker Little, Anton Harrison, and then your guards, how about Ezra Cleveland and Chuma Edoga? I think it's kind of maybe won that battle to be your other starting guard, and then Robert Hainsey there in the middle. So I think these are your 5 starting offensive linemen is what I'm expecting right now.
And then we got some more offensive linemen on the next one.
Yep, the rest of the offensive line group, here we go. I think Cole Van Lanen is going to make the 53, and then we could probably take this IR off. I think the trade of Fred Johnson tells us that Cole Van Lanen's probably healthy and going to be ready to go. Jonah Monheim, the rookie center out of USC, is going to make it. Wyatt Milam, this one I'm really not sure about. I got IR next to his name because I think he's a little bit more banged up than they want us to know. Liam Cohen said week to week. I'm not sure he's going to be ready to start the year, so I think he'll make the 53 and then put him on IR after that so he can go to short-term IR, and then they can activate him in a couple of weeks. That's what I'm thinking there. And then Patrick McCarry was the big free agent acquisition on the offensive line, but I really think he's lost that guard battle with Chuma Edoga. So now he becomes your new age Tyler Shatley, the versatile Swiss Army knife that backs up basically every position. He's going to be the backup guard, the backup center, the backup tackle. He's going to do it all for you.
Okay, give a little veteran presence in there. I like that.
Versatility is the name of the game when it comes to Patrick McCarry. So, and not a bad move still, because now you got a backup that can play everywhere. You never have to worry about one guy goes down. Patrick, you're up.
Just slide him in wherever he can fit.
Wherever you need him, just call McCarry and he'll be fine. 6'5", rolls in there. So we'll see. Look, the big question mark is health for these backup guys. I think Cole Van Lanen, Wyatt Milam. Cole's missed most of training camp. He's your swing tackle if he's healthy. But Wyatt Milam, I mentioned it when you asked about Anton at the top of the show. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Anton's safe at right tackle if Milam can get healthy. If Anton goes out there and struggles, Milam was looking good before he got a little banged up.
But that's a big if, though, because we don't know how hurt he is. It could be a while, like you said.
We'll see. Those lower body injuries are always tricky, but also that gives opportunity where Anton better go out and play well, or else you're going to have the rookie breathing down your neck. All right, we've made our way all the way through the offense. We'll start talking about the defense as we kind of try and make our way through the rest of the 53-man roster when Teal the Show comes back right after this quick break. All right, welcome back here to Teal the Show. It's time to talk about the defensive side of the football. Kyle, we're starting on D-line, right?
Yes, we are starting with D-line. Hey, that's a lot of people's favorite area on the defense. I know some of their favorite players play there, so let's see what you got.
Look, I mean, I got Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen. Is that a surprise for anybody? Not really. No. Devon Hamilton, Eric Armstead. I think this is overall your starting defensive line as you can look for it. Eric Armstead finally back out there on the practice field. Let's go to the rest of the defensive line group. This is a pretty deep group. I got Austin Johnson, maybe the surprise. Colin Saunders, they traded for this guy. He's going to be on there. Big bowling ball in the middle of the line. Emmanuel Ogbah, Dewan Smoot back in Jacksonville. How about the undrafted free agent? I got B.J. Green sneaking on there, and of course Mason Smith. Maybe the two surprises on here, B.J. Green and Austin Johnson, undrafted free agent from Colorado. When I did my first 53 way back before training camp, I had B.J. on there, and then I kind of got away from it. And then his play during the preseason got me right back on the B.J. Green bandwagon, so I got him on the 53.
Hey, make plays in those preseason, you can end up on the roster.
That's right. Hey, look, and he's a pass rusher. And you can never have too many pass rushers.
Just like running back, the more depth you have, the better you can be. So I definitely like that. Let's see what you got at linebacker.
All right, linebacker a little bit easier. Let's go through them. Dennis Gardeck, I think he's going to be a starter at outside linebacker. I got Yasir Abdullah sneaking on there. Those two were in a position battle. I got Ventrell Miller, Jack Kaiser, Devin Lloyd, Foye Oluwakin. Maybe the surprise in this group, no Chad Muma. I think Muma's time in Jacksonville may be over.
Yeah, that Miami game might have exposed some weaknesses just a little bit.
Yeah, not great, not great. All right, let's go to corner. Let's keep moving. Cornerback, this one's a deep one. Jordan Lewis, Jarian Jones, Travis Hunter again. Got to make sure we give respect to the two-way guy, right? Tyson Campbell, Montarg Brown, Christian Braswell. I think Montarg's going to end up probably starting the year on IR. He's missed most of training camp with an injury, so I think it's going to be short-term. Again, makes the 53, lands on IR right after, so like Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, we might get the update that he's going to be on injury reserve. But that lands us with Christian Braswell. I think cornerback's another place where James Gladstone and company, they're going to be shopping a little bit. They're going to be going to the bargain bin trying to see who gets cut and see if they can find a corner somewhere, whether it's to fill out and replace Montarg Brown in the short term, or if they find a guy that maybe they like more than Christian Braswell. But I think Braswell's had a really good training camp. I think he's going to be on the roster.
Yeah, no, he seems good out there. He's played well in the preseason. Let's go safety next.
All right, safety was hard. This was
I can imagine.
Andrew Wingard and Eric Murray are going to be your starting safeties. I'm pretty locked in there. Caleb Ransaw, another guy banged up. The rookie class really banged up. I think he's going to start the year on IR. And you hope he starts the year on IR and doesn't end up on season-long IR because they could use this guy. But that injury, I think he's going to be sidelined for just a little bit. I got the other rookie, Rayon Lane, making it. I got Antonio Johnson making it. I also got Daniel Thomas making it. I went deep here at safety because I had the bodies, and special teams matter. Special teams matter, and a lot of these guys are special teams standouts. Maybe the surprise here, Darnell Savage. Maybe the last hurrah for that Trent Baalke free agent group from a year ago. I got him out of here. He competed for the starting job, and he didn't get it. So we went special teams over a player that's just going to give you safety snaps.
Yeah, Savage probably the biggest surprise. I know you guys asked me to maybe do a 53-man roster. When I looked at safety, that's when I pulled out all my hair and was like, maybe next year, just because I don't know how you do it.
Hey, look, it's tough because when you get to those final numbers, you're feeling good, and then you look up and you got 59 guys, or you're feeling good and you're like, now I got to get rid of 3 or 4. What do I do? And safety is one of those tough spots where you're like, you want to keep all these bodies, and this is a lot of safeties. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if they're going to keep this many. We'll see if I'm right, but I think
like you said, special teams matters. So these guys play a little on both, so you got to keep them.
You got to. Heath Farwell will be throwing a party if he can keep Antonio Johnson, Rayon Lane, and Daniel Thomas all on the roster. That's the Jaguars special teams coordinator. He will be a very happy man. He also is pretty happy with the Jaguars specialists. Not that there was ever a question with these 3 guys, but the Jaguars might have the best special teams unit in the league. I mean, this guy's been a Pro Bowler. This guy just made a 70-yard field goal, and this guy was also a Pro Bowler last year. So I don't know if there's a team in the NFL with a better special teams unit than the Jaguars. So Jaguars special teams coordinator Heath Farwell, a very happy man, especially if he can keep them safeties.
The dream team on special teams. That's what I call
special teams. I like it. All right, so we made it through the whole 53.
We did.
Maybe a couple of surprises along the way. We'll see ultimately how all the dust settles, but this is maybe the last hurrah before we get to start talking about the games, right? We'll hear from James Gladstone a little bit later this week about the cuts and how everything went. So we'll bring all that your way to Teal the Show on Friday. Appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight. Hopefully you'll decide to hang out with us every Monday and Friday night right here on Channel 4. Good night, everybody, and go Jags.